Islamophobia constitutes. For example, when there is negative media attention around, let's say, counter-terrorism, sometimes you have a negative image of what Muslim community represents. And a lot of the time what we hear is that the Muslim community perception is around terrorism or it's around criminality, which isn't great because that's not what Muslim community is about. We're actually quite a positive community. So, therefore, what we try and do is to rebut some of these negative media reports, okay? Now, because of these negative media reports, it may well be that a lot of people from the far right groups may attack Muslim males, females and youngsters. As Muslim women, one of our identity is our hijab, or niqab, or whatever Islamic clothing we may wear. It's very easy to target a woman because they are wearing Islamic clothing. So you may have your hijab pulled off, for example. We've had cases where people have been spat on. We've had cases where, for example, they've said, go out and leave our country. If you really look at it basically, in simple terms, it comes down to prejudice. It comes down to discrimination. It is a form of hate crime. So we've done a lot of research around this particular issue. And so what we want to do is ensure we give confidence to Muslim women and non-Muslim women especially to understand what Islamophobia constitutes. And if it happens to you, please feel free to contact us. I will leave you some details where you can say, this has happened to me. Is this a form of hate crime? Therefore, the police can look at it and assess it and say, yes, this falls within hate crime. Now, how do we deal with it? Do you want to report it officially? And what kind of support can we give you after you report it? Because unless women and men come forward and young people come forward and say, this crime is happening to us, maybe perhaps on a regular basis, how can the police and government deal with it? Okay? If it's not identified as a problem, then how can we provide a solution? And you're within the community, you are the solution, okay? Please don't underestimate that. When you say something, when you feel something is not right, you have to say so. There's only right and wrong. There's no grey areas. So please have the confidence in the police to report some of these crimes, and we will try our best to deal with it.
کمک میکنه وقتی که یک چیزی رو میبینن یک کسی برشون یا چیزی میشن از مسلم انسالت میشن یا تعقیب میشن یا توهین میشن یا یک کسی برشون خساره میرسونن باز یا به این نمبر زنگ میزنن اینا چیز میکنن در کیسشان استدی میکنن برش راه حل پیدا میکنن و بهشون کمک میکنن اگر اینا خواستن خود نفر بخواه که لیگلی درج کنه شکایت خود به پلیس اونطور میتونه در غیر زور من اسم چه رقم گیر میکنن باشون همین کار همون کیسا رو دنبال میکنن که ببینن اصل منشأش پیدا کنن که چرا میشه و براش سولوشن پیدا کنن که دفاعشون کنن.
The second issue I wanted to touch on was the issue of domestic violence. As you know, for women, domestic violence, whether Muslims or non-Muslims, is regardless of which religion or which culture, which ethnicity, it is about violence against another person. Violence against another person, whatever gender, is just purely wrong, okay? It's absolutely wrong. And I don't want to get into theological debates, I don't want to get into Islamic debates, but the issue is, in the UK, to use violence against another person is illegal. And often, culturally, sometimes with particular communities, we accept that. We accept that because where do we turn to? Where do we turn to? Okay, even if we know that, for example, somebody is hurt because the woman has been attacked or the husband has been attacked, where do they report it to? Do people have that confidence to come forward to the police? The next step is, if you come forward to the police, are you concerned about the level of support you're going to get after you report it? That's another issue. Now, what I can say is that, again, the police have done a lot of research with different communities on this very, very difficult issue. We know it affects many, many women as well as men, okay? But because this is a women's group, I'm going to focus on the women, okay? So what I will say is, if you know that it is happening within the community. I know it's hard to come forward, but statistics show that a lot of women who are actually murdered, okay, by their husbands have actually been involved in a series of domestic violence. It's not like one day somebody has woken up and just smacked someone in the face and they've dropped on the floor, or they've been hurt, or they've died, or passed away. This poor woman has been attacked over and over and over again. This poor woman has been isolated. She's had nobody to speak to. She hasn't got the confidence to come forward and report it. We ask why. Why do they not have the confidence? Okay. Is it because of language barriers? Is it because she can't speak English very well? And is it because she actually doesn't trust the police to deal with the matter? So I'm going to be very frank about this. I'm not going to scoop things under the carpet. It's also a level of trust in the police. If you come and report it to the police, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to support you? The first thing I will say is, if it does get reported, for example, if somebody says to me, my husband is threatening me, or my husband is abusing me mentally or physically, that is domestic violence, okay? I will have to report him because I owe a duty of care to another human being. If I don't put that report on and you go home and he hits you one more time, and he might even turn around and say it's an accident, but you die, you pass away, it's on my head. It's on my shoulders. I am accountable because I didn't look after you, okay? As a police officer, I am here to prevent and detect crime. So if someone feels the need to come and tell me I am getting hurt at home, I can't sweep that under the carpet and say I'll come back to you next week or I'll come back to you the day after. I need to deal with that. I need to offer you support. There are numerous organisations which provide different languages to women who come forward. So if you are from the Afghan community, we have language line. We have women who speak Afghan, who speak Dari, who speak Pashto. We have women who speak Farsi. So we can offer that support. But what I will say is, please have the confidence to come forward and report such things if you see it happening to your friends. Because you are women who are strong in this country. If you don't come forward, nobody else will.